Hello everyone and welcome. We are inside of the 2017 Mazda MX-5 Miata Grand Touring RF. That's a lot of words to basically say the hardtop MX-5. Hardtop convertible, that is. And, you know, if you've watched my channel, you probably know that I love this car. The ND Miata is a fantastic driver's car. It does pretty much everything really well. It's not exceptionally fast, but it's a fantastic driver's car. You know, the base version coming in at just 2,330 pounds, so very lightweight, very tossable, made for these low-speed corners kind of car that's just a ton of fun to drive. And honestly, if you're getting either one, whether that be the RF or the soft top convertible, you really can't go wrong. Both of them are just truly fantastic driver's cars. However, if I were to buy one myself, and I have thought about it quite a bit, I would go with the club version. The club, of course, because it comes with the limited slip differential of the soft top. And so in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why that would be my personal pick, though again, I do think they are both fantastic cars. Now, the first reason has to do with the fact that this car is a convertible, and the way that I see it, with the top down, the soft top is the better car to go with. With the top up, the RF, the hard top, is the better car to go with. Reason being, with the top down, and you know, this is a convertible, so obviously you want to put the top down, in the RF, you still have a pretty massive blind spot looking to your left, and honestly, it just feels a lot like all you did was remove the roof, because that's pretty much the only difference. The roof isn't there, so it's kind of like a Corvette in that sense, with the hard top that you can remove, and you basically just pop off the top. You don't really feel like you're outside like you do with the soft top down. You know, it's more immersive in the soft top, where all you have blocking your visibility is this front window frame, and that's it. And everything else around you is wide open, and you can look around, you can enjoy the scenery around you, you can, you know, hear it better. You know, you're more isolated in the RF, and that could be a good thing if that's what you want. But if you're buying a convertible, something tells me that you probably want to be, you know, outside rather than just kind of, well, you have the roof off. So my personal feeling is that with the top down, it's a more immersive experience in the soft top convertible than with the hard top. Another benefit is that soft top is just really fast and really easy to put up and down. Takes just a couple seconds, if that, versus 13 seconds with the electronic version, which is of course very fast, but that said, you can do it much quicker, much more easily in the soft top. So, you know, if you just got a couple seconds to spare at that light, the soft top, it's no problem. This one, you can only have it up to 6 miles per hour. They did that so your hair may not get caught in it. Perhaps they should have an option for people with shorter hair, who knows. But anyways, the soft top, very quick, very easy to actuate. This takes a little bit more time. Now, reason number 2 is the curb weight, and I've driven this RF on a track at Laguna Seca, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, I should say, since I'm in a Mazda, and you know, I didn't find it to feel really any different from a dynamic standpoint than the soft top. It feels like, you know, the same amazing driver's car, but that said, it does weigh 113 pounds more. And one of the things that I have noticed from that is that the RF feels a bit less tail happy. It's not quite as eager to let the rear end kick out and slide around, not quite as playful as the MX-5 with the soft top. And part of that is that they've added this weight to the back, so it's got more weight sitting on those rear tires. The weight distribution has been pushed a little bit back, so it's 50-50 in the manual RF versus 53-47 with the soft top. And you know, you do actually feel that a little bit in the corner. So I feel like the soft top is a little more eager, you know, really throw it hard into a corner and it's going to kick out the rear end, versus this stays a bit more stable. And normally I would say that that's a good thing for this, that it remains a bit more stable. But the MX-5 is so predictable, so easy to drive hard, that it's actually a little bit of fun to have that rear end be slightly more tail happy, more willing to play with you, because it's completely predictable. You can choose for it to do it, or you can choose for it to not do it. And this one, you know, if you put your foot down, you won't necessarily have it happen as often. So with the top down, I like the soft top better. I think it's just a little bit more playful, more eager to kick out that rear end. And the third reason comes down to speed. And I wouldn't say, again, that I feel the difference, but you know, just looking at the numbers, and because it weighs more and has the same power, you know, it's just a fact that it is going to be slower. And Motor Trend has done 0 to 60 testings in a repeatable manner. They found with the soft top, they were getting in the high 5s, low 6s for the 0 to 60 time. With the RF, they were getting in about the mid 6s, so about 6.4 seconds for the RF. So, half a second slower, about 6 to 7% slower, and that makes sense because the car is about 5% heavier. So logical that was the difference that they saw in 0 to 60 times. Now, do I think it's a huge deal or a deal breaker? Absolutely not, but it is just slightly quicker if that's what you're going for. I think they have done a really nice job of preserving the way that the RF feels in comparison to the soft top without really sacrificing performance hardly at all. Now, points 4 and 5 aren't quite as big of a deal, but points nonetheless. And so number 4, headroom, the soft top has 0.6 inches more headroom, and that may not sound like a ton, a little bit more than half an inch. But when, headroom is already restricted, if you're tall, I'm 6'1", and sitting this is just barely possible. With the soft top up, if I put myself all the way back in the seat, my head will actually touch that roof with the top up. It won't do that in the soft top, and it's just got barely enough above it. So it's a minor detail, but you will notice it if you're tall, that you have just slightly more headroom with the soft top than with the hard top. And finally, point number 5 is price. So the RF Club starts at around $31,500 versus the Club soft top, which is starting around $28,800. And so about $27,500 is the difference, almost $3,000 difference between the two cars. And considering the other things, the fact that you can save money, you have, I feel like, a better car with the top down. It's a little bit more playful, it's a little bit quicker, you've got a little bit more headroom. Kind of cool that you can also save some money in getting the one that has all of those features. Again, both of them are great cars, and there are definitely benefits to the hardtop. First off, and as I mentioned earlier, with the top up, I think it's the better car because you're more isolated, it's a nicer cabin, it's a bit more quiet, you're more insulated from the outdoors if it's, winter months and it's super cold outside, so there are definitely benefits to having that hard top. Also, it looks amazing. I don't think there's any denying that between these two cars, the RF is definitely the better looker. It looks fantastic with the top up and with the top down, which, the other one, the soft top, doesn't look quite as good with the top up, I don't think. This is just a fantastic looking car, and I love that about it. I think, that alone could persuade people to get this one, is just how nice it looks with that hardtop on it. Also, the weight distribution. This one is a bit more evenly split, and as a result, it feels a bit more stable, a bit more predictable. Like I was saying, a little bit more weight on that rear axle makes it a little less tail happy, so it is a little bit more predictable. And finally, if you do plan on tracking the cars, if you take this one to the track, I don't think you're going to have any trouble running into problems with, the broomstick test where they have to make sure your head is below the roll bar. You just put the top up, you put your helmet on. Now, for people like me, it's kind of a squeeze, and when I was on the track with the helmet on in this thing, my helmet was definitely up against the ceiling, the hardtop of the convertible, which is unfortunate. So it couldn't really be a track car if you're really tall. But if you are, shorter and you want to take it to a track, the hardtop is great. You can have that roof over your head, put your helmet on. You don't have to worry about the broomstick test, even though, truthfully, like, the roof is not load bearing. It's these roll hoops behind you that are going to take that load if you do flip. But I imagine, at tracks, they're probably going to be much more lenient if you have the hardtop than if you have the convertible version. So, if it were my money and I was buying an MX-5, I would go with the club version of the soft top. I think it's fantastic. I don't really think it needs any of the additional options unless you can get them for cheap. The Brembo package, about $3,400 for brakes and wheels, seems like quite a bit of money for just brakes and wheels when, the competition out there like the FRS, the BRZ. The BRZ offers a package for, I believe, $1,200. You get new bigger brakes, front and rear, which is, this is just the front. It gives you different wheels, it gives you different shocks, and that's for $1,200, a third of the price. So if you're really thinking about tracking the car and you're taller, a BRZ with that track package might be the better call because it's got the hard top, that load-bearing roof, you can fit in there better, it's got more adjustments. The MX-5 does not have a steering wheel adjustment, only up and down. It doesn't telescope, and so as a result, for taller people, it's going to be far away from you because you've got the seat back as far as possible to accommodate your legs, and then the steering wheel's kind of far from you. Not a huge deal, but a sacrifice you don't have to make in the BRZ. That said, I think this is the better driver's car, and if you're just spending time driving around your favorite country roads or just as a daily driver, I think this is the car to buy. It is absolutely fantastic. So thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'm just going to enjoy the rest of this wonderful windy road on my way down.